was literally green. His skin was the exact same shade as the paint on the walls of Lab 6. Lab 6 was where, just moments before, Hank had mopped up an accidental spill. Dr. Salam was experimenting with chameleon genes, and judging by the color of Hank's skin, the experiment had just taken an exciting new turn. At least, Dr. Salam thought it was exciting. Hank did not agree.
"You people are nuts!"
he screamed at Dr. Palindrome.
"I quit!"
Dr. Palindrome sighed. He was the director of CEASE, the Center for Extremely Advanced Science Experiments. It was the world's most famous research lab, and the hardest part about running it was finding janitors. The average CEASE janitor worked for less than 2 weeks before either quitting, suffering a career-ending injury, or just mysteriously disappearing.
"Let's not be hasty, Hank,"
Dr. Palindrome said, pointing to one of the burgundy red leather chairs in his office.
"Have a seat. We'll talk."
Hank sat down and glared at Dr. Palindrome.
"Now, why are you quitting?" "Are you kidding? Look at me! I'm green!"
"Actually, you're more of a burgundy red at the moment." Hank looked down at his arms, which now blended in perfectly with the chair.
"Oh, for crying out loud! That stuff turned me into a chameleon!"
Dr. Palindrome looked pained, not because of Hank, but because he was worried that whatever had turned Hank into a chameleon might have gotten on his chair. It was a very expensive chair, and Dr. Palindrome was quite fond of it.
"I'm terribly sorry, Hank. Although I'd like to point out that chameleonism was one of the occupational hazards listed on your employment contract. Still, it shouldn't be a problem as long as you spend the rest of your life standing next to things that are flesh-colored. If you had an ounce of shame, Doc, you'd shut this place down. It's irresponsible. It's life-threatening."
Only for janitors, thought Dr. Palindrome, but he didn't say that out loud. Instead, he nodded sadly and said,
"It's true, there are risks. But you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. And of course, by omelet, I mean amazing scientific discoveries."
And by eggs, he thought to himself, I mean janitors. Dr. Palindrome had learned from experience that it was best to keep most of his thoughts about janitors to himself. Hank understood what he meant anyway.
"Go find yourself another egg, you creep!"
Hank yelled as he stormed out. Dr. Palindrome scowled. He didn't like being called a creep. He didn't like finding janitors either. But it was part of his job, so he picked up the phone to call the janitors' union and order another one. Then he remembered. The janitors' union had banned CEASE from hiring any more of its members. So had the temp agency, the job fair people, all the local schools, and the classified ad site that refused to run any more janitor wanted ads after some nasty business involving a radioactive gerbil. This was a real problem. If they were forced to clean up their own highly dangerous spills, splicings, and subatomic particles, CEASE's scientists would start dropping like flies. Without a janitor, CEASE might cease. Just the thought of it made Dr. Palindrome's forehead sweaty with fear. Something had to be done, and quickly. But what? Chapter 2. That same moment, a young man was standing outside CEASE's front door with a hopeful look on his face. His name was Tom Edison, and he was there to fulfill his dream of being a world-famous scientist. Now, you may be thinking, wait a minute, isn't Tom Edison already a world-famous scientist? Not exactly. Throughout history, there have been many Tom Edisons, and this was not that Tom Edison. He was simply a Tom Edison. Since you'll be hearing a lot about this one, let's call him our Tom Edison.